This Yellow Jacket training session is sponsored by
Big Benny. Yummy.
This training video is going to explain how to clear internal structures in Star Citizen. This is a Yellow Jacket session, and we do this training in Test Squadron every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Plan, defending your point, your ship or whatever. You need to have map knowledge. You kind of need to know where everything's at. Those who've been in like the Starfarer, you know how big everything that is. So you just got you got get some map knowledge, especially on your own ships and stuff. But everyone come down here and over here, this hallway. I'm jumping in front of.
See ya.
All right, go ahead and go in that hallway, Garen. Please pay attention. Please pay attention.
Where are you?
Over here, behind you. Okay. The first thing I'm going to be going over is how to take a corner, how to clear a hallway, and kind of just the basics of it. So, we actually use this doorway. I like this one a lot. So, the first thing you got to understand is you see a lot of people in FPS games and stuff when they go around a corner, they walk around a corner and they just they stand there in the middle of the doorway. Now that's really bad because you have to think about it and be like, okay, everyone that is in that room is going to be focusing on that doorway. That's where they expect you to come in. So you don't want to walk into the middle of the doorway and just stand there. That's just how you get shot. You don't want to stand in the middle of a hallway because that's where everyone's eye is not naturally drawn. That's where every weapon is going to be pointed. So when you're coming around a corner, what you want to do is you want to do a technique that's called pieing the corner. What it is you start where I am, and you just take a step to the right, and take another step to the right, and take another step to the right, and you're basically clearing it one step at a time. You're taking a slice of the corridor, and you're clearing that, and you're clearing that, and you're moving on. And you keep doing that. What this does is it makes it so you can present as small a target as possible to your enemy, and and not. I would have if you saw what whoever this
Cow.
Yeah, whoever's running from me is doing. I would not do that because the peak mechanic in these games is pretty bad. You're going to overexpose yourself. So step back from the wall a little bit, hold down aim, and start taking steps out and clearing the corridor one step at a time. Okay? Now, once you've cleared the corridor and you're ready to move into it, you want to get inside the door, and then you want to get away from the door, because if someone else is like watching or something and they pop around the corner, the first thing they're going to look at is the door. They're not going to look inside the door. They're going to look at the door. So you want to get away from the door. You want to step over to the sides, a little bit more on the side of the corridor.
30 seconds remaining.
Okay.
Sticking out. Step it up.
Next, the next thing we're going to talk about is how to work is so as soon as the timer runs out and everyone respawns, just come on back here, and we're going to go over the next thing, which is how to move as a battle buddy team, which is two people moving, how to watch angles and stuff like that. So, okay, the next thing is how to move as a unit. Excuse me. We're going to be using the same hallway.
What waypoint is that?
Same point.
Which one is that? See?
It's
right by B. Right by B.
Yeah.
So. Okay. What we're gonna do is so I'm gonna show you what two different people are gonna do. I'm gonna explain why they're doing it. So the first person. So when you have a two-man. When you have two men or more, what you need to do is you need to think about, okay, who, what am I doing, and what does the other guy, need to know that I'm doing, because, they can't read your mind. So you have to have constant communication. That's one of the things that I think a lot of people really struggle with is communication. So, what you do when you have a 2-man unit, if you guys can clear the doorway, I'll show you. Okay, so the first man, he is going to be like, hey, I'm gonna take this doorway, and he's gonna pie the doorway like I just talked about. Okay, he's gonna hold that doorway, while the second man is watching down this hallway to make sure no one comes around that doorway, because they have no clue what's around that corner, right? Okay, and if you have more men, then you're gonna have like a third person watching behind you, because what are the chances that, you know, someone sneaks up behind? Well, it could happen, and that's one of the things a lot of people aren't aware of, is you gotta watch all angles. Even if you just clear the room, you gotta watch it, because you know, what's the, you know, what if you miss something? What if someone comes through a crawl hole or something? So, okay, so what you have is you have your first man, he's now watching this, he's watching down this hallway. Your second man is watching down this one. Your third one's, you know, watching back there, if you have it. Okay? So your first man, he's gonna keep on this corridor. The second man is going to come in, and he's going to go across into the room. Now, with a doorway this big, you can actually do 2 at a time. So you're going to have one man, you're going to have your second man go across the hallway here, and your one man at the same time come in and go here. Alright, and that way, the one man can keep an angle on this little alcove down here, while the 2 man's watching long down the corridor. Back over there. And then again, your third man watching your rear if you have it. So this one man's like, hey, I got this alcove, I don't know what's around that corner, I'm gonna take it, and the one man, or the 2 man, is still up over here watching down this hallway, while the one man, again, pies this corner. Okay, make sure that no one's back there. Alright, and this entire time, even though he's pieing this corner, he has his buddy watching. Alright, who just shot me?
No one shot you, that thing blew up. This thing blew up.
What blew up?
This canister on the ground.
Well, someone shot the canister to make it blow up.
Has anybody done this in Spectator before?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't tried it.
Now, what do you guys see the problem with what I just told you? Okay, I'll tell you. If one guy's here, and the second guy's still all the way back here, where's the issue? Well, if someone's coming around this corner down here, and he's pieing the corner properly, he's gonna see that guy that's sticking all the way his ass out all the way there before the his 2 man has it up. So what you do to solve that problem? Well, you have your 2 man. Your 2 man's gonna push up, and on the opposite side, he's still gonna stay right behind the 1 man, so he can pie this corner. But he's gonna push up on the same side, so he has a better angle at that door, at that corner. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're gonna have one guy over here dealing with the alcove, one guy covering him.
Yes. So you basically in the army we call this nut to butt. You want your nuts in the other guy's butt. And I know that sounds incredibly gay. It was the army. It's something else.
Just to cover what you're saying, there's 3 people. There's gonna be 1 person covering this alcove.
There's
right?
1 person pieing this alcove because he doesn't know what's there. The second man is right behind him, watching the long hallway. And if you have a third person, you need to have him watching you 6. Okay?
30 seconds remaining.
So you want, again, this is how do I cover every angle. You have to think about this. And when we get back, we're going to actually go into room clearing back in over here at the bar and talk about how do I clear this room. And then after that, we're going to actually get into some situations where I'm going to have you guys be like, hey, 2 of you go into this room and you're going to be the opposing force. You're going to go in there, you're going to defend the room. The other guys come in, you'll clear tactically. I'm going to watch you guys and give out pointers and be like, hey, you know, stop, you know, what about this, what about that? So you guys actually get some hands-on with this. Part of the reason I like playing on this map is because of the way it's set up. It's a lot more challenging to try clear, so it forces you guys to kind of learn and play with the objective. Hey, Garen, go back the way you were. Or,
no, I know what.
Okay. Okay.
I was searching something that I think it's changed in the map. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So back, if we come back in this hallway, and we said we're actually moving the other direction. So, all right. Wait. So if you're starting over here and you're saying, okay, I'm pieing this corner, all right, and you start coming around, and you see that doorway right there. What you're gonna do is I'm gonna say, hey, doorway left. That's me communicating to the other guy that there's a doorway left. And okay, at this point, you don't want to leave that doorway unattended. So what you're going to do is, you're as number one man. Number one man is a rotating title. It's whoever is in that position right there. So number one man, you're going to be like, hey, I got this. Number two, start pushing up. All right, so one was watching this doorway. That is now his entire job, is watch that doorway, because you have no clue what's over there, and you don't want to expose yourself more, and then someone pops out from behind that corner, and you get shot while you're not watching. So now, number one man, all you're doing is watching this doorway. Number two man is going to come up, and he's going to take the place of number one. He's going to then become number one. He's going to keep pieing this corner until he has line of sight. And this is where it starts getting more complex, because you start having more moving pieces. You're going to now need a number three and probably number four man to try to actually take this room. So you come up, you push up on the this doorway. You got the hallway locked down, but you don't want to push. You don't want to pie anymore, because you need to watch that hallway down there. So what you have to do is you're now going to have that number three man come up, and he's going to actually have to breach the room and clear over here. Now, when that happens, he exposes himself to the gambling room over here with the pool table. Okay, so what you have to then have happen is you have to have your one and two man push up. Your two man's still going to be watching the long hallway, and your one man's going to have to push up into this room. And that has to happen all at the same time, so you don't expose anyone on your team. Because if the guy that pushes up into the bar pushes up alone, he can get shot from the pool table all by himself. Okay? Are you guys picking this up?
Yeah, so you're saying in this situation where there's multiple angles that are sensitive, so to speak, you need to move at the same time, so not any one person of your triangle, so to speak, is vulnerable to an attack.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
Well, you also need to be careful about bunching up, so you don't get naded.
Yes. Yeah. Now here's the thing. So you're gonna have one guy pushing up and clearing the bar area, and then once he clears the bar, he's gonna probably post down here and watch this right angle back here. Okay. You're going to have a second man on the bar, post up and watching back over towards B point. You're going to have your third man posted up on this doorway. Now, I'll get to him in a second. He's going to be watching this long hallway. And you have your fourth man going in to clear. And that's just, again, we went from what you can do solo to 2 people to 3 people to 4 people. So as you see, as the situation gets more complex, to tackle the situation properly, you have to then change. Please stop firing. You then have to change how you approach the situation. So now, how do you tackle this situation if you only have 2 people? Well, you're gonna have to leave some areas exposed. You have to go back to, where do I think the enemy is? And then there's kind of a bonus of being in a futuristic fake world, is we have this beautiful radar thing. So it's not the biggest deal, but you still have to take risks, because I'm assuming that in the future there's going to be ways to get off radar and or limit your radar signature. But that gets a little more into theory crafting. So okay, so when the now we've kind of separated the group into two-man buddy team. So you have the buddy team that's over here watching this, and you have the buddy team that's over here. So the first man of the buddy team goes in to clear this. As soon as he does that, because what happens if someone comes over from the other side of the hallway, okay, and this guy tries coming out of the door at the same time, he's going to shoot his friend in the face. Friendly fire probably will be a real thing. So as soon as the other guy goes in the doorway, he has to push up past the doorway so his buddy can come out behind him at that point. Alright?
Round over.
Yeah. This is a very complicated, crazy thing that is constantly going to be changing and evolving, and everything is constantly going to just be crazy. So you just kind of have to realize that there was never going to be any perfect solution, and you just have to do the best with what you got, and usually that won't be enough. But I'm just trying, like, this is something you have to spend a lot of time thinking and looking at to really understand the elements of how it works. So what we're going to do now, provided no one else has any questions about that, I'm going to have the Marines, if they stop shooting, the Marines are going to set up, and the Outlaws are going to have to work together and talk together and clear the objective room. So, anyone have any questions?
So for this practice, is it only the Outlaws shooting, and the Marines are acting as location?
No, because here's the thing: a lot of you guys are not planning on being full-time, yellow jackets, or being full-time FPS. So I want the defensive team to play defensively. I want them to shoot if they have the shot. Okay. Now there's only 3 defensive and 4 offensive members, so you guys will have a little bit of a numbers advantage, and that's fine. But here's the thing: is I want them to get used to defending objective just as much as I want you guys to get used to attacking objective. If you die, just stand by in your spawn area until everyone on one team's dead, and then we're gonna switch it. So the attackers would then be the defenders, vice versa. Okay, make sense?
The only thing I might have a problem with is my push to talk isn't working, so I'll probably have to just be the last guy that, because I think the last guy doesn't need to say anything, right?
Well, you're always going to be at a disadvantage if you cannot communicate with the rest of your team. So, but yes, ideally,
movement, though.
Ideally, right now, what the best thing to do would be, hey, my comms aren't working. Just like you said, let me be the last guy. So, you're still your team as a whole is going to be at a disadvantage because of that. But it's making the best of a worse situation. Which, so,
I got a question. If I've got 3 areas to try to cover, what's the best way to do that? Like, I'm at the rear of B. I got 3 places where we're all vulnerable from because no one's got those covered. How does one person cover those?
Find a vantage point where you can funnel them is the best thing to do. So if all 3 of those areas require a person to go through one point, then okay, watch that point. The other thing to do is kind of like what I was talking about on offense is prioritize them, which is most likely, it's a lot easier in the game because you have a heads-up display with a radar on it. Prioritize where do I think the enemy would most likely to come from, because with limited resources you can only do so much. So
Big Benny, yummy.